Hi, it's Paula from Pola Quilting. Welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial I'm working with kids fabric scraps because I want to make a bunting. So I found a bundle of the scraps and I will use that and a little bit of fabric for the backing. I've used the carton board to make a template. The width of that template is going to be 7 inches. The height not that important because I'm going to be using my bunting in different lengths. That's what's making it wonky. I use that cover for the jar to make rounded edges. That's another thing. I don't want to have my bunting pointy, and just cut it off. I shortened the template a little bit because some fabrics will be shorter, and I'm ready to go. So I've got different kind of scraps from that fabric and I just want to make most of it. So I'm cutting that fabric into 7 inches wide, and then I will use that template to round the edges. So I've started cutting all my fabrics to 7 inches strips to fit the width of the templates, but then I'm working through those scraps to make them well, they different heights. Each of the stack got different height, but that's how I want it. I just want to make most of those scraps, and I also will be using remaining scraps to put some crumb blocks, and I will cut the same shape again. So I really will use every little bit of that fabric to make as many parts for the bunting as I can. The tallest ones is 7 by 7 inches, like from the square, but all the other ones just go various heights. So here are my crumb blocks as well, put together to just have a little bit of more of those. I personally like them even better than just plain fabric, but obviously that's all your preference and your choice, however you want to go about it. Now the backing, I'm starting with cutting 7 inches strips, but then again I will just work around that fabric to use it up as much as I can, so that what was left obviously was in 7 inches, but put other way around I could still cut 7 inches, so you can always use up the stuff. So the next part will be just place all of the parts on those strips, as many as I can on one. You know, it's kind of industrial part of work here. You don't want to work with one section at a time. You want to do as many steps in one go as possible. You just go quicker. So now I will sew it all around, go slower at the curves. The seam allowance may or may not need to be 1/4 inch. You can choose whatever you want, however it's easier for you to sew. And again I will just chain piece all of those in one go to cut on the steps in between. It helps if you narrow down the stitch length when you're working with curves. It's just that curve it's easier to maneuver around. So now you want to obviously divide them, cut out that curves, and the next step is going to be turn them to the right side. I have trimmed a little bit more at the curves there, just so that there is not too much bulk when we turn them around. So yes, turn around and just push out all of those corners, make them nice, kind of that curve proper, not squared up. And then you want to iron to make it nice and flat. For the better results, I top stitch them again from the front side. It's just to make a nice finish. Next, I've decided to use a ready-made bias tape to put them on, but obviously you can make your own, but by taking 2.5-inch strip and fold into half and then fold into half again, same result, but I just went with ready-made. So I've decided to put the spacing 2 inches, so again I created a little bit of template there so I know where my 2 inches are. Here I'm just mixing the stack, so as you can see I've divided them into the type of the fabric, and I kind of go through each of the stack one after another to mix them up very well so that I don't have the same color next to each other, and also not the same height, so I just want them really wonky. I left about 20 inches at the front and the back for the tying it out. And now it's time to add the pieces. So here we go. You just want to put it in between the tape. Don't rush that bit because you want to make sure it's nice, you know, stuck in between the tape, that you don't miss anything. Then I'm using my template to mark my 2 inches, and I'm starting with the next piece. And here's my finished project, my lovely wonky bunting. I think it came out really cheerful and actually quite long with the pieces I had. Obviously you make it as long as you need to, but it will be a lovely present for anyone with you know, a baby or anyone else, depending obviously on what type of fabric you will choose for that project. It doesn't have to be obviously a baby one, it can be anything. I just want to show you the bunting doesn't have to be, you know, perfect size or pointy or square. It can be anything you want, and you can use all the fabric you've got to make one. Thank you for joining, thank you for watching, and see you next time.